Thank you for joining once again. I'm sharing my screen and I will start the video on the Marketing Mobile Studio. And if you have any questions, please let us know. We'll get back to you in a day or so. Yeah, and please let me know, are you able to see my screen or not, team? I hope everyone was able to see my screen.
Hi
Yes.
everyone. Good morning, good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you.
Today's topic is get to know about Marketing Cloud Mobile Connect. And myself, Anindra, and I would like to talk about today's agenda, and then we can go through my introductions, and after that we'll go through application overview, and after that I'll introduce you to the Mobile Connect. What is Mobile Connect? What are all the elements you can do it in Mobile Connect? And of course, we have a platform demo so that everyone can understand how the platform works as a real time. Okay, and you can post any questions and answers in the chat box, or after the session I can give you a clarity on each and every question. Okay, well, coming to myself, I'm a chief technology officer within Epistoki. Epistoki is a platinum consulting partner with company Salesforce. I'm a Salesforce and an AWS certified enterprise architect. I'm a group leader in Singapore Salesforce Marketers Group and a group leader in Singapore Slack chapter. And I'm a Salesforce marketing champion as well with 34 certified, which include 3 Velocity certifieds, MuleSoft, 2 accredited professional, especially on CDP and Interaction Studio platforms. I'm a MarTech solution architect who works on multiple marketing tools which can interconnect with cross-cloud integrations. And I'm an AIM, artificial intelligence and machine learning architect who's working with many of the initiatives. I'm a TOGAF CSM certified. I'm a mentor and a blog and a speaker as well. And you can follow me in my blog, salesforce.wordpress.com. So, and you can follow me on Twitter as well at the rate Argichetta, and you can follow me on LinkedIn as well with Fanindra Argichetta. Okay, so that's all myself, and let's go through our introductions. After the introductions, I don't know how many knows what Marketing Cloud Connect does for the marketers, right? So there are plenty of questions. If I ask about element terms to any of the marketing manager who's working on Aloco or HubSpot or any other marketing tool, the biggest question to all the marketers is, well, I have a lot of questions. What else Marketing Cloud Connect does? What Marketing Cloud Connect can do, right? So ideally, a Marketing Cloud Connect does an SMS and push notifications. You can send SMSs from the platform, and again you can send push notifications from the platform, right? And there are so many activities which include, okay, platform does the SMS and push notification as an element, but what else can do? So where I can include those Mobile Connect operations. So how does the blackout window work? Do they have a blackout window for them to stop SMSs not to go out of the platform? Can I handle a subscription management from other clouds? Or are we expecting any kind of linking with Journey Builder to build complete flow of your campaign, complete flow of your marketing journey? So is there any
So team, still you are not able to hear the voice properly. Still the issue is same. Hello.
Yes, since it's recorded, I think it's the same.
Oh, okay.
ability that I could
Now, are you able to
customize
hear?
SMS using AMP script variables, using any SQL queries? So when I sent an email, get a response from the carrier, can I store the responses back to the marketing cloud for my analytics? That's very important.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So I'm continuing the session. Thank you. Thank you for answering.
For all my B executives, right? So looking at all these questions, right, we come up with a kind of landscape, an SMS landscape, a kind of an SMS architecture in Marketing Cloud. How does it work, right? An SMS architecture in Marketing Cloud, which contains a primary element, is the mobile connector, a channel application which you could leverage, send and receive on SMSs. It has an opt-in management and a complex conversational use case which you can build as well, right? By using Mobile Connect, you could have a journey builder SMS activity available under journey builder where you could plan a journey for your customers. So journey builder can leverage a mobile connect and can enhance the experience of sending outbound SMS journey orchestration along with the low to mid volume transactional sending as well, right? You could find out all the small level analytics in the journey itself, right? What else? For a configuration, I have a mobile connect administration, I have a journey builder SMS activity. Can I able to adopt any of the real-time transactional SMSs? Yes, of course. There are APIs available, and SMS APIs where you can use a transactional messaging from Marketing Cloud platform. Hope everyone understand the transactional messaging. Daily, all your team, all your people are getting OTPs. All your people are getting some real-time notifications. You've done some transactions from your banking platform, so you're getting notifications and so on. Some amount has been debited, and someone transacted through any Western Union portals. So the people receiving SMSs on a real time, right? Those are called transactional messaging, which you are targeting to talk to different APIs. I'll go through that as well, how beneficial that for you, for your complete understanding of the platform, right? And we do have a web-based subscription management system as well, which you could leverage proactively. So looking at everyone understand, okay, Marketing Cloud does this, Marketing Cloud do this, they have done SMS push notifications, but ideally you need to understand how the entire SMS messaging journey will works from a value chain perspective to the messaging process. Look at it, right? So this marketers does the creation of an SMS in Marketing Cloud, a kind of a text, and then it will be processed through Marketing Cloud platform, which has their own uh, cloud, which is hosting on AWS. And you do a lot of ads personalization using data from the customer success platform. You could build a lot of data extensions. You could bring the data from different sources as well. Once the SMS goes out from a Marketing Cloud platform, tier 1 aggregator, which is nothing but once I send a message to my mobile, it'll go to my tier 1. Tier 1, nothing but I'm basically sitting in Singapore. I've done SMS. My primary aggregator is Singtel. Okay. Singtel is the own subsidiary company of Singapore, and that was my tier 1 aggregator. Okay. So through Singtel, my message went to the person, nothing but a carrier that receives a message and delivers it to the appropriate audience, because my tier 1 aggregator is the one which is my Singtel, and Singtel has their own carrier where it will go and then send a message to my customer. So customer or the audience will receive a message without any disruptions, right? Let's take what are all tied to aggregators. Tied to aggregators are nothing but my friend came from India and he's operating Airtel. Okay. Airtel is one of the secondary tied to aggregator because in Singapore it's not work because it won't work. But every telecom company has been tied up with tier 1 aggregators who are operating inside any country. So what it does is when my friend sitting in Singapore and he trying to send a message to his kid or son, so he sent a message to his son and then it'll first go to the Singtel aggregator. Singtel has a gateway that okay, this is coming from Airtel, so on, so ITBN, and then it'll went to Singtel, take them to the carrier, and carrier will transfer the SMS to Indian based carrier, and then it will send a message to the audience. So this is how this entire process of mobile industry works. As everyone aware, the same structure and the principles does the same thing for Marketing Cloud Connect as well, right? So when we talk about one, you talked about a lot of stuff, and also the biggest question, can I use uh, because you told me that when you start the implementation, you have to follow some SMS codes. Every company does SMS codes because you're doing a transactional messaging, right? So those transactional messaging, it works in a way, each and every time when you're trying to implement an implementation for a country. Let's suppose I'm implementing in US, so US adopt for short codes. It won't work for long code or any other codes. So there are some SMS codes which works with Marketing Cloud short code or a versus long code, or there are other long code, very short long codes also available. But SMS code is a kind of a sequence of characters that you can allow to send an SMS messages. Without this code, it's impossible to send a message from a Marketing Cloud instance. You have to register an SMS codes before you start the implementation. Either it is short code or long code based on your implementation country perspective. Ideally, the short code is a 4 to 6 digit number, and it only works for the subscribers in a specific region or country, as I said. And long code usually is the length of phone number and it's international. So you can hardly see more than 6 digit number. You can see some 10 digit number, sometimes 12 digit number as well. So without these codes, ideally we can't able to send any SMS from a Marketing Cloud platform. So I want to everybody understand how this entire acquisition works. A lot of people know, okay, when you talk about technical documentations or help documentation, really important because when you start to when you start the implementation, let's suppose you kick off the implementations on September 1st, okay, but make sure you need to start this process before 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Then only you could be able to achieve your exact kickoff date when you start the project. I can explain how this can be done. Before you start the project, there are 8 weeks before to do is there are something, especially on the country-wise regulations, especially on the telecom regulation guidelines, which you need to follow and get this code to be activated in your Marketing Cloud instance. Step number one, there is a CFA completion. So there are some documents required for country-wise teams, nothing but CIF, TNC, terms and conditions page setup. So you have to perform this. It'll take 1 to 2 weeks, the entire documentation. And after this completed, you have to hand over this documentation to the respective aggregator, because US has respective aggregators where you have to reach out to the aggregators and then you have to review the entire documentation and then do a revision. Once this is done, the telecom company will give you the career reviews and revisions. They have done everything, and after that they'll ask you to launch the code, and you can launch the code and then you can activate that code. So entire process will take at least 6 to 8 weeks, from my understanding, when I work with multiple countries. Some of the countries take too much of time. Like when you talk about Russia or any other countries, it's just a very pain point that you have to get a lot of approvals. So for us, normally, if you don't have any understanding, let's suppose you want to start a business in UK and you don't have any idea on all these things, you don't worry about it. Marketing Cloud account executives will take care all this process with the costing of some cost. They'll take it and then they'll definitely complete your headache. So that's what Marketing Cloud team does as well, right? This is short codes. So especially when I talk about this, the short codes, actually short codes is like I told you, right? 4 to 6 digit short code. And short code, especially in the entire region, there are some countries where allow only short code. The biggest regions are US and Canada. They only use short codes, and even Singapore also supports short code and long code, but ideally it supports both, right? So this is international codes, like, this is short codes. This is international code, which is like a long codes. What I can talk about, this is very quite simple as compared to the other short codes. It'll just a terms and condition page setup, and then you can give it to the respective aggregator to review, and then he'll do it within maximum 3 weeks. The long codes are really easy for international especially, but apart from other codes, US and Canada is very restricted, so it'll take at least 8 weeks for you to get the code activated under your marketing cloud instance. So I would like to give some brief about this, otherwise people will understand how this can be procured and what is the process behind this. And also this is the process behind procuring the short and long codes for your marketing cloud instance, right? So when I talk about blackout, right, so people thinks that so there are some certain uncertainties, especially like, so you really don't know what happens with your company organization policies, right? Maybe you're building something, or you wanna stop the entire marketing cloud mobile connect. You wanna give some blackout, or else there are some scenarios where I want a blackout for my entire org, so on so certain time. I don't want to send SMSs starting from evening 6 o'clock to early morning 6 o'clock. So these kind of activities also can be able to manage inside marketing cloud, and that's why we're calling as a blackout window. So it's a kind of a period where you can use a mobile connect account, not going to send any outgoing messages. And this feature especially prevents you to send SMSs at inopportune time. And it's a common example for blackout windows, night and weekends, as I said, right? So from night, maybe evening 6 o'clock to the early morning 6 o'clock, and weekends also you could stop the SMSs. And again, the good thing, it doesn't affect any automations, journeys. It just holds a message delivery till the end of the blackout time. That's it. So that's the use of blackout. So normally, very rarely people leverage this, because SMSs contains your because when I use SMS, I want to use SMS for my real-time API transactions as well. So in this case, so it'll be a problem, right? So, or most of the companies don't apply this blackout window ideally, but there are some scenarios where you want to apply. You can use this feature to enable this, and then yeah, and the system won't be able to send any SMSs from your platform. Well, this is very, very important. Very important. Keywords. When you talk about keyword, it's just another word actually. You know, it'll talk about your entire behavior of your SMS uh, culture. It's something like when you send an SMS, when you see any promotional SMSs, right? So in the SMS, and the people add, if you want to stop the message, enter stop keyword. If you want to send something, enter some more customized keywords, right? So that keyword will give you an automatic response for all the behavior of your. It's a kind of a real-time behavior of the customer, what he is enter at the time of receiving his message. If I got a message from any other Shopee or anything where I really don't like it, I just enter stop in my SMS, and I don't receive the SMSs back, because stop is nothing but that you're unsubscribing from the SMS communications receiving from so and so channel. Every short code, long code, when you set up n number of codes in your platform for all your countries, so every short code you have to set up the keywords. Every short code you have to set up the keywords. That's always the best practice, right? Because one country like keyword of stop, help, or something. Other country like customized keywords. Other Russia like some other keywords. Singapore like some other keywords. Either UAE like some other keywords. So you can have capability to handle multiple keywords per short code or the per long code, right? And again, the most important thing, keywords created at a business unit level, whether parent or child, it remains available only to the business unit, right? So ideally, when I work with multiple pharma companies, where every country has a different business unit because it's a pharma data. So each and every BU, I have my short long codes. And main important thing, guys, when you procure a short and long code, right, from the primary BU, once you procure at one time, automatically marketing cloud team does, it will be available all the child business units. your short and long codes. But the keywords you have to set up deliberately. You have to go to each and every BU, and then you have to set up those keywords relevant to that long code, short code, because you really don't know, right? The country people wants different language, because Russia has their own language, and Brazil has their own language, so they can set up the keywords with their own language, ideally. And people thinks that when you set up the keyword, the next thing is to understand when you create a message. So everything is set. Step number one, you have procured your SMS codes, short and long codes. Step number two, you have completed your keyword setup per short code, long code. After that, you are ready to send an SMS. Now, when you're ready to send an SMS, so the SMS maximum characters is 160 characters only, right? The length of entire characters that you can put your message, the maximum is 70 to 160 characters. People think that funny, I want to do more than 160 characters. Yes, you can do that. There is a concatenation maximum, you could leverage that feature 100%. I would recommend everyone to leverage the concatenation feature. If not, then what it does is, if the message contains more than 160, maybe 320, 450 or something, what Marketing Cloud does is it'll break your message, and then it'll send a multiple sends. So first 80 characters will go to one send, next 80 will go to the next send, next 80 will go to the third send. So as I said, the first send contains the maximum characters, the next send contains the rest of the characters, and it'll send like a batch by the maximum character count, but it deliver on time. That's how this concept of GSM characters and length it works. So it's a global standard for mobile everywhere, not only for Marketing Cloud. When you look at any other systems, it follows the same practice with 3.38 characters and non-GSM characters, because it only supports the GSM characters and non-GSM characters. Okay. As I said, the keywords here. Every Marketing Cloud account has their stop keyword. So if you really, as a best practice team, I would always recommend to set up the keywords at a code level, and then make sure you have to leverage all these keywords: stop, quit, cancel, and unsubscribe, whatever your business use cases. So you have to leverage these keywords to make it more comfortable for your marketing managers. I would recommend a high level things. This is one of the high level things. So when the subscriber stops entirely, it'll go, and then you can stop those kind of communication, cancel, and then you can capture those unsubscribe status, the mobile opt-in status, and then you could build some logics. And if it is unsubscribe, you can unsubscribe from an entire platform. So for each and every keyword, you could be able to manage your entire subscribers in such a way that you could not to send those kind of communications, right? So people always implement multiple stop keywords for each short or long code, right? And again, there is no limit team. As I said, you can create stop keywords with the different kind of use cases. So as I told, right, some of the standard keywords provided by Marketing Cloud, but you could be able to manage your custom keywords also. It works the same functionality as the default ones, right? And within the keyword, it completely accept AmpScript. And if you want to customize more, you could leverage AmpScript. But ideally, most of the scenarios people leverage, because once you click on stop, right, you receive a message, right, again saying that thank you for unsubscribing this, so you will not receive any kind of SMSs from your platform, so on. So that our autoresponder message also, you could be able to customize it using AmpScript. Or might mostly people use a normal static text, but some of the great customers, they'll use the AmpScript ideally. So that's a SaaS stop key. That's a kind of a keyword. Now, when we talk about our SMS use cases, right? As I said, there are three level of Marketing Cloud SMS leveragement is going to be happen. One thing is the normal using a mobile connect in Journey Builder. You can use a SMS custom activity, SMS standard activity, and you could design your entire Marketing Cloud journey. There is another transaction which works with the API. I'll tell you a simple use case how the transactional messaging works. And there are some personalized messages where you can create personalized messages based on your customers acquisition, loyalty, brand wise. We can build many of the things. And for the promotional, there are some call to action messages, right? That increase your awareness by grading into consumers, or they can engage with the content or do something. So you could do those kind of use cases as well. So ideally, you could build transactional use cases, promotional use cases, and a personalized use cases as well. All three are supported end to end. And there are some templates available in Mobile Connect. There are some templates where you can create and then send the engaging messages. So there's nothing but, let's suppose if you want to send a message, you can send an SMS to your subscribers, an outbound message. You can use a template outbound, because when you click on new message, I'll show you that in the demo. When you click on new message, right? So ideally, you can see different kind of messages: outbound message, outbound media, mobile opt-in, email opt-in, send email, text response, all these things. So those are all the templates where I'm talking about. So when you want to use a send a message template, what send a message does is to send an SMS or MMS based on your, because currently MMS only supports in US only. It won't support in any other country. And there are other things you can use: send survey, send automatic messages, unsubscribe, capture information. So I can showcase that how all these templates available and how we could manage it. And based on the use case, what we have specified. So these are all the templates where I would recommend everyone can leverage. There are different kind of templates. Ideally, outbound message is the mostly people leverage. Mobile opt-in, the other one text response. All these three are very important for Mobile Connect, and you regularly uses more than 95% of these templates, right? And the most important thing before we jump into a demo, so there are some prerequisites to send an SMS. So what's required? So the biggest questions: what all required to send an SMS? Everyone knows subscriber key is the most important thing. The other one is mobile number. The other one locale. If you are not specified any locale perfectly, because locale there's a guide in locale. I'll showcase a later point of time. You have to follow that locale guide and then design an SMS accordingly. Otherwise, there's no way that you can send an SMS, or there's no way that SMS will not go to out of your platform. These are all minimum requirements. There are other things, especially valid phone number. If you don't enter the valid phone number inside your subscriber list or inside your data extensions, wherever it is. So you see the examples of valid phone numbers starting with one plus one with all this. Examples of invalid US phone numbers you can enter without any country code. Practically, the message won't go out. You have to keep. Let's take an example of India. It's 99191 plus 91 plus 9191 space and all. It all works. You have to enter the area code. You have to enter the country code. Without the country code, the SMS won't go anywhere. That's the main important. And there are other things, especially on sending an SMS. So while you're sending an SMS from a data extension, so when you design a data extension, so DE must be sendable, and I would recommend to have testable as well if you want to test something. And within the data extension, you have to contain a phone field for a mobile number. And as I said, in the data extension, you have to put the locale field. Without locale field, practically or unfortunately, you aren't able to send an SMS from outside of a marketing cloud platform. The most important, you should have a relation between your subscriber key for the send relationship. These are all main importance in a data extension when you design a data extension, right? So apart from this, especially when we cover all the sending SMS and SMSs and all, but there are other things, especially on data views. So the biggest question, when I send an SMS outside of marketing cloud, or when I send an SMS from marketing cloud platform, what are all the data views can be leveraged and build a sophisticated reports for the customers? So these are all the data views leverage. You can leverage these data views to build reports, and you could send this to a FTP locations for your data warehouse teams. You could send this information to any Azure platforms to build complete analytics. Those are all SMS message tracking, subscription log, and undeliverable SMS. So message tracking will give you all the customers sends and receive history. Subscription log will give you all the subscription history related to an SMS sends. Undeliverables will give you the customers to view the message, and then it'll tell you when it will be delivered or not. So the most important thing that I would like to talk about here is a simple use case where you send an SMS to a person sitting in India, and you implemented an implementation in India only, because there's a customer in India where he wanted a mobile connect, and he wanted us to build some of the journeys based on his use cases, and he procured a long code for India. And we completed the implementation when the system started. We sent a first SMS to a person in India sitting in Bangalore. And when we start a system, when we activated the code, when we start the first journey, the person sitting in Bangalore went to US. Okay. And ideally, the person expecting a message from a marketing cloud platform, that message ideally went to a US carrier, and then finally he received a message, right? But sometimes the person's went to US has been switch off his mobile phone, or he's not in a coverage area, or his phone is not reachable sometimes. So what will happen is the carrier itself take almost like 72 hours of time. It'll re-trigger almost like 5 to 10 times. The message will re-trigger, and when it always, the marketing cloud will always talk to carrier one time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. So it'll take 5 times. Once it does 5 times after 72 hours, we'll get a response, and then the response will store back to undeliverable SMSs as well, and we'll get to know the exact response, why this person couldn't be able to, why this SMS couldn't be able to went to the so and so customer. So it will give you the list of reasons behind each and every delivery as well. So that's the beauty of marketing cloud, and of course the same operation does for all the marketing cloud omnichannel platforms, especially on the mobile. Right? And when we talk about data views, there are some reporting. What are all the reporting capabilities that we can leverage inside Marketing Cloud Connect? There are some account summary, deactivation summary, detailed report, summary reports, all these reports available, where I would like the team to leverage all this reporting, and then you can build some good analytics as well. As you have some limitations, I would recommend leverage Dataroma as well, because slowly it will come and then improvise the platform of SMS. I don't think so SMS is a part of Dataroma. I'm not sure, but yeah, but it'll come soon. And again, people question, so funny you can't able to export the CSV, of course, because if the data is more than 15 MB or something, so you have to use FTP option, and then you can build an automation, extract activity via automations, and then you can store the data in FTP, and then you can export from an FTP as well. So there are many options, but ideally, these are all some of the reports where you could leverage. For one short code, long code, that's okay. You could directly get the report here. But there are customers where I specially worked on, we enabled for 224 markets, 224 countries. So in that cases where we use FTP route to get all the summary of the reportings, and then we export and we move this data to analytics range, Azure platforms, so that they use ClickView to enable analytics and all, right? So ideally, that's what the entire Marketing Cloud Connect demo, the platform features and all this stuff. So let me know if anyone has any questions before I jump into a demo. Let me see if anyone has any questions. So let's start with, can we have multiple codes for each PU? Of course, you can have multiple codes for each PU. Naresh, you can do that. So we introduced the CAF and FPI, taking time for KYC PAN activity. Black code for mobile studio is same as send throttling in email studio. Yes, Akit, you're right. The Securities and Exchange Board of India (SEBI). Okay, you're talking about the SEBI rules. Like a chunk of characters of 160 characters. Yes, multiple send will also delivered in multiple messages. Multiple send will also be delivered multiple messages. Would it not be in case it happens, or would be irradiating for the receiver? Because Bishop, we don't have any other choice, because it supports 160 characters. And I would personally recommend to leverage concatenation. If it works, it's always good. Try to decrease the text and leverage some short links or anything for giving more information if you want. So these are all some of the best practices. If you want more than 160 and you don't want to compromise on the texting and all, then it'll go on a separate message. Yes, Naresh, answer that. I think Shankar have told more than 60. Yes, it is possible, but it'll give you a chunk of messages. As I said, just like a leverage concatenations, or as people said, so you can build some AMP scripting as well for making less and use short links, so that it'll give you more information and the brief about your message. mobile network issue happened, then how SMS delivery work? It's a good question now, Antim. So, Antim, I've said, right? So, person, went out because it's Airtel and he moved to Australia, and he switched off his mobile. So, Marketing Cloud deliberately, retry that SMS almost 5 times to 6 times to the carrier until you get the response from carrier for the 5 times retry. That what happens to that, what does the Marketing Cloud done? Then it's okay. After 72 hours, Marketing Cloud make that SMS response as undeliverable and will put the messages some network issues or anything. Does AppScript codes counted within 160 character limit? Yes, Balasubramaniam, it does. How mobile platform restrictions handled by Marketing Cloud, like Apple has more restrictions and changing their policy because of data security? Good question, Ankur. It has some restrictions on the mobile side, uh, especially on the data security as well. But I don't have much information, especially on that Apple side. I do have information, especially on the email side, but for mobile related, I don't see any problem so far. But let me check and get back to you on this as well. I haven't read about it, but let me. Blackout. I sent SMS at 9 p.m. and my blackout starts at 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Will SMS deliver all messages before 10 p.m.? Yes, it does, because your blackout starting at 10 p.m., right? So on or before 10 p.m., all the messages will go to the consumers or subscribers. Is there any restrictions while sending the SMSs? Is there any whitelisting of IP ranges of the customer in external domain? No, 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 no. There is no such kind of restrictions, Reem. There is no such kind of restrictions because see, we only have the carrier versus mobile studio only, the mobile connect. Between, we don't have anything as such. So there is no such kind of whitelisting of an IPs or anything. No, as far as what I know, I don't think so. No. Any other questions? What kind of errors we'll get and how to handle? See, there are some errors, especially Sai. Number one error is when you, as I told, right, in Marketing Cloud data extension, if you don't give a locale. So this is the Marketing Cloud Connect. SMS Mobile Connect. So this is very, very important. Without this will block you when you see, right, this valid locales for data extension sends. So in the data extension, when you build, right, locale is one of the value variable parameter where you have to define the right locale. Without this locale, the message won't go from your Marketing Cloud instance platform. You have to follow this very carefully. So this is the one. The other one is, as I said, right, you given the phone number as without your country code. Without the country code, the message also won't go out. So you will see a message. You will see a response saying that invalid number. You will see a SMS response with invalid mobile number or something. So these are all some of the things. Only these two are main important team. Apart from this, I don't think so anything which is really not stopping your SMS. Does Marketing Cloud retry sending failed message during a blackout period? Blackout period start first and after that the message, because when you are in blackout period, the messages won't go from Marketing Cloud instance, right? So when the blackout periods, let's suppose you sent a messages today at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I think it do retrieves all the time, because your message will still sit with carrier only, and Marketing Cloud keep pushing carrier to check what is the response and all. So in the blackout period is just for not to send any SMS from the platform. It won't stop you any kind of responses. It will always check the responses and to talk to the carrier always for the next 72 hours. Will the long code of Hong Kong work for China? No, it doesn't work, Pritesh. You have to purchase your own codes with respect to each and every country. Mobile Connect follow any regulations because we receive spam messages in the form of Mobile Connect follow any regulation because we receive spam messages. Spam messages. Surprising, this is. Because see, when they procure the code, right, and then what happen is you submit all your documentation, right, and the respective carrier in the country, you follow the regulations and principles. So the carrier will give a go ahead, nothing but they'll give a go ahead to start with sending SMSs from the Marketing Cloud platform. Okay, so I don't think so they'll go with any spam as such. I don't see any this kind of a thing anywhere. Subscriber key, local and mobile number should be correct, otherwise give error. Exactly, Ash. Post blackout period, the message which were on hold would go first. Exactly. And how is this managed? Post blackout period, the message were on hold would go first, right? And how it is it managed? No, firstly, how it works is the blackout is something that your system will be. The blackout is just a matter of time where you can stopping SMSs, not for the responses. Marketing Cloud will always talk to the carrier to get the responses and then store back to the responses under the undeliverable. It won't stop you anything on that perspective. You will get the responses. If we activate blackout after activate journey, it will work or not. In blackout time, journeys and automations box. Any other method after blackout ended is only journey builder queue, wait period approx 12 hours. No, it works. I mean, as I said, right? So if you look at my presentation, I've clearly told blackout. Blackout window does not affect any automations or journeys. It just holds a message delivery till the end of the blackout time. That's it. So you can't able to send any SMS from the platform. And as I said, the messages which you already sent before the blackout, because you have to talk to the carrier until you get the response, because it will take a 72 hours of time to get the responses back from the subscriber. So you have to talk to the respective carrier. But ideally, we don't know exactly how much, what is the time interval to talk to a carrier, but it'll take a 5 retries. And after the 5 retries, it'll go and then mark that as a response. And the carrier will give you the response back once the customers, once you get the response from the subscriber. Ideally, it'll take a 72 hours. What the basic difference between Marketing Cloud and other sales service clouds? Okay, Marketing Cloud is an omni-channel platform, and other sales service clouds are just a CRM platforms which you could leverage for the sales revenue and for customer support. Stop keyword is available in parent BU, and when I try to create the stop keyword in the child BU system, not allowed to create it and throw it like it's already used. It's already used. Stop keyword you configured in parent BU, but you can go and then leverage the same keyword in child BUs as well, right? You don't need to create one more stop keyword. Is it really required, Naresh? You can just try it out whether you can be able to leverage the same keyword. If not, then ideally I would recommend to keep some. Let's suppose if the child BU contains different country, maybe you can keep stop AU or something. A custom keyword you could leverage it. But let's check. I mean, I don't think so. It is just check with support once. Let's raise the case with support once. How the system manage blackout window, as a blackout window will be different for different countries due to time zone differences. It's a good question. Yeah. The blackout period, always when you remember one question, right, Naresh, always Marketing Cloud works with one time zone, which is nothing but a CST time zone, because my primary Marketing Cloud is on a CST. So my entire operations works with the CST itself, right? And what will happen in those timings, right, especially when I try to set the blackout, so that blackout that is for one BU, because when you have multiple countries, so you have a multiple BUs have to be procured as per the best practice and as per your business strategy and your costing of that as well. So every BU you have an option that you can set the blackout for that BU, so that you could manage those blackouts per country wise as well. But again, the entire Marketing Cloud will be one CST time zone. So based on the CST time zone, you could define your time zones in each and every BU. That's it. Yes, yes, sure. No. Data cleanup exercise by only Marketing Cloud admin. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I think I'll go through the demo. So let's go back to our demo and I can showcase our Marketing Cloud platform. So these are Marketing Cloud platform. Ideally, step number one, when anyone wants to access to the Marketing Cloud, you can see under the Mobile Studio, Mobile Connect. And before this, you have to check the connections are available or not. So these connections, now connections are nothing but a user role. Under the user role, just check the permissions, whether you're able to access the Mobile Connect or not. Under the users, you should have roles. So in the role, you have an information where you can see what are all the things as you can able to define the role, and then you could assign this role to, let's suppose, is one of the administrator. So this administrator, where you do have an option to see what are all the features, especially on the mobile connect. So you see general SMS message reporting functionality. Under the journal, you can see the access of marketing cloud application, administration panel, SMS messages, create SMS, delete SMS, schedule SMSs, and messaging templates and reporting. So if you have these permissions, I'll ideally, so this is the number one step. You have to give a permissions to a administrator inside marketing cloud who manages the mobile operations. You have to give all these permissions, and you can control these permissions also, not to give any extra permission to the person who are not a part of the administration. So this is the first step, that you have to give an access. Once you give an access and assign this role to a user, what will happen is I'll have an option once you assign a role to me, and then I have an option to go and then click on mobile connect. And this is the mobile connect home screen, and I personally calling as a mobile connect dashboard, because it'll give you all the analytics so far what went out from my platform, which include my total outbound messages, my total inbound, how many I received from last month, and you can see last 24 hours, last 7 days as well. And if you want, you can create a report as well from here. You can get all the summary from the last 2 months, 3 months, and see my keywords, number of keywords that I've set up per code. I set up multiple keywords. This is only the code that what I have in my org. You can see under my administration panel, you could see my code I procured US. And once you click on the administration here, you can see here how you can set up the keywords. You can see account, you can click on stop keyword. And here you have an ability that you can create multiple keywords. You can create the keyword, put the stop keyword, put some customer response message, and then you can click on save. So as again, this is also 160 characters. And again, this supports AMP script as well. You could have AMP script also in the customer response text. It supports that. So you can create multiple keywords for one single long short code and the long code. And you look at the codes and what I've set it up, right? All the dashboard help capture test both the mindset, order, and all the details. And along with this, you can see the number of countries that what I have. If you have more countries, you can see all the countries here, supported countries. For currently, I only have United States. So along with this, as I said, here is a blackout window. So you can have an ability that you can put the timings. And here you can see the small thing, enforce message expiration. So when you enable this, then ideally when you are in the blackout period, so we are enforcing the message expirations as well. So that's how the blackout window works. Just simple snippet where you can see the status and the time you need to set it up. That's it. And the time, as one of the person asked me, this time is completely dependent upon your org's timings. My org is CST time zone, so I have to set it up based on the CST time zone only, right? Because this is one BU. When you have different BUs, you can, because I have one BU, I have a different BU, you can go and then do the same operation, set the blackout window for that BU, right? You can do all those things. Along with this, you can see the keyword setup under the administration panel. Under the long code, you could set up all the keywords. You can go and then enable the settings of administration. So some of the my business unit as a part of the US, I personally choose my bounce logic, because when the SMS is bouncing, so I need to have an option to capture those bounce SMSs as well. Who's a subscriber, what happens, and all. And the non-GSM I've just disabled, because I normally use non-GSM keywords because I use GSM only. So these are all some of the settings inside Mobile Connect. And in the ORUO panel, so you can go and then you can see some of the information where you can see under the manage, you could see all the contacts, and you could design some import definition as well, coming from any of the contacts you want to build from Sales Service Clouds or through an FTP. You could use these options. And from here, you could have an option to import the file from your local computer. You can add manually as well the contacts. And the next, when you want to create a message, you can create a message. As I said, you have multiple templates based on the business use case: outbound, text response, word surveys, mobile opt-in, all this available. Ideally, people leverage outbound because this is a kind of a template where you could send an SMS to your subscribers, and you can go and then put the respective message name And you can use because if you have multiple codes, you can see multiple codes here because it's only US. And send method, you have an option to schedule it. You can use, if you're building any transactions, you can use the API trigger. And if you want to keep this as an automation, you can use this. We put in automations, so you could use the same custom activity inside your journey builder as well. And so once you have this, now you have an ability that you could select the audience. So from your data extensions or a contact list. So if I can choose my contact list. So anything that you want to suppress, suppression management, you could just exclude those people from the exclusion list. And you could use auto refresh before send. So if any people adding into the subscriber list or the data extension, it always applicable. So that's where you can use this auto refresh before send as well. And after this, here you can design the respective message. So you can add the insert content. This is where people are asking questions. So maximum you could here, welcome to Kolkata wet. So maximum you could use more than 160 characters. Sorry, it's 160 characters, and you could put all the messages. And if you want, you could put the concatenate message. So this will give you a lot of comfortability for you, and flexibility to add more number of characters as well. And you could add as a campaign. If you want to test, put some US numbers for testing, and do some tests before you activate this mobile SMS. And if you want to keep any keywords within the mobile text, because if you want to keep some speed, right? So once the customer interact with the message, so you will get a message, the next keyword that what I would like to display. It automatically gives that option. And here now it'll just give you an option to review it, the message type, short, long codes, keywords, audience types, everything. And it'll give you a delivery message when you want to deliver immediately, or you want to do a future or recurring delivery. And you do have still some advanced options to define the time zone, because there is some scenarios where the people leverage the time zone, right? So you can use a time zone specified by the contact if available. So people ask me one question: so is there any way that you could do some throttling as well? There's a concept of throttle sense, maximum number of messages where you could put a throttling period. Ideally, uh, it's all depend upon activities. If it's transactional, I don't have a control on that. But if it is just our omni-channel messaging, so ideally I can put 100 messages every 1 minute based on your strength actually. But if you want to test it out, just put some 1,000 messages also. Doesn't impact anything, but just for testing purpose. Right. So this is the way that you can send a message. You can create a message, and you could use the same message under your journey builder as well. So in the journey builder, you could use a journey, and then you could use a SMS activity, and that SMS activity, so you can create a new journey. So if we look at journey, right, so here you have an option called emails, you have an option called SMS, right? So if you want to do just a single send personalized messages, so I could just choose an SMS option. And if you want any transactional send, for especially on the banking, core banking kind of a platform, so people use transactional send summary as well for an API event. So here you can choose a data extension, where if you have any data extension with the text, so you could just choose this data extension. So you apply any filter criteria, you can apply it. And is there any SMS? Could just SMS. You could just configure the SMS template that what you have designed, because you designed some of the SMSs as a part of this process, right? So you could choose the SMSs templates, and you could select the messages. So there are some content builder messages where I use personal AMP script and all. So there are some other messages, especially if I use this one of the message. So this is just a test message, and you could use a message configuration. This configuration is really important because you want to understand the source code and the delivery options. Here you will get the delivery options on the opt-in. So send only to the contacts who are subscribed currently, or if you want to send to all the contacts with a respective keyword, choose a keyword. But ideally send only contacts who are subscribed currently. And you can see that configurations in blackout window. Do not use send blackout window. Use custom setting for this message, right? So when we talk about one question where you are a blackout period, but still you have an option to send an SMSs, here you're asking a configuration, do not use send blackout window. Use this option so that you could send SMSs anytime using Journey Builder and an automation studio. So this is what we talked about initially. Some of the advanced options, especially on you're customizing your activity, your next keyword, which you can define different, but this next keyword will define any of the message template that what you design. So it'll automatically pick up and then it'll send an SMS. So this is how you could be able to design an SMS template inside your Journey Builder, and you could use your source data extensions. Or some of the times you can go and then design your API event activities as well using a transactional API. So those APIs, especially when I talked about those scenarios, right? I can give you one scenario how a transactional API especially works. So there's a use case where simple take a banking platform, right? So you have an account in SBI and you have run some transaction, and the transaction SMS is coming from Marketing Cloud platform. But ideally, so this is your core banking of SBI. So this is SBI. Ideally, you've done a transaction, right? So as a person, you've done a transaction through SBI, and ideally SBI, all the operations they're using in all this transactions, they're using a different tool called TIBCO, or they're using any other platform that they're storing somewhere in one of their own databases, right? So here we need to use any ETL platforms, any ETL, it's TIBCO or Mule platforms. So this is where the system will talk to your Marketing Cloud system. So this is where I'm going to hand over my APIs to MuleSoft team, my Marketing Cloud API, which include my definition key, which include my definition key, which is required because when you build any API entry event, it comes along with the definition event key. That key you have to handle. Along with you have to handle the SMS structure. Nothing but the JSON structure that needs to be triggered from MuleSoft platform. Once you handed everything to him, so Mule will automatically trigger the message to Marketing Cloud. Marketing Cloud invoke through a Journey Builder. In the Journey Builder, I do have an operation, so I can choose my API entry source, and I can configure this entry source to this definition key. So it matches with the definition key, and I will send an SMS to a customer. So this is how the entire transactional API ideally works. You need some sort of middlewares to handle this entire operations. So that's always a best practice, because Mule is a best practice, Mule or TIBCO, because it has both the retry mechanism, because they'll talk to the end system. If any of the messages won't come from this to this, they'll talk to the end system, and then they'll send the messages to us. From here to here, you don't require any retry mechanism, because this, when Marketing Cloud, when this send a message to us, we are immediately sending a response to a respective end user, Mule or something. We are sending a response back with some SMS key or something, SMS key or any other response as we set it up. So this response will tell them, this system, okay, message is success. If the SMS, if we're getting a response as some 404 or kind of an error, ideally they use this custom messaging configurations inside Mule, and they put their all there into the configuration properties, and then they'll keep triggering this message until 5 times, because this also you have to do 5 times of retry mechanism. So until it does it 5 times, and then it will, the Mule system know, okay, this message has been failed, and then they won't send the transaction back to Marketing Cloud. So this is how the entire system of operations works. And once the customer receives SMS, right, ideally all the things which store under data views, and as a best practice, data views always you can build some automations using SQL queries and all. You could combine data views and your unique personalized maybe enhanced send log or any other information, and you could put these messages into your own FTP, so that from FTP, the data warehouse team, DWH team, or analytics team will pick it up, and then they'll build some good visualization for you on the dashboards. So this is how the custom transactional APIs works ideally. This is the best practice as I feel, but let me know if anyone has any thoughts or suggestions. Happy to take it forward. So normally when I design, so I design in such a way that the most of the headache or uh, high level duty will be taken care by the middleware only. That's what we call it as middleware, right? There does all the stuff, and they send the transactions back to the marketing cloud. So that's how this entire system of mobile connect works. And let me know if anyone has any questions. So yeah, it worked on seriously time zone and worked accordingly. Import file in contact means to import contact from a CSV file. Sometimes like the HubSpot chart flow features. Yep, that's true. So that's it, guys, for today's session. Let me know if anyone has any questions. So I'll happy to answer those questions, and we can talk about it. And there's one more thing I would like to talk about. As I said, right, you can have ability that you could build a lot of reports, especially on your analytics. So these reports you can use SMS send summary report or undeliverable SMS report. So those reports are available in Marketing Cloud Connect, where you can leverage these reports for small amount of transactions. For a big amount of transactions, I would personally build an automations here, as I said, right? So this data views, and from there build an automations to combine data views versus using SQL queries and all, or else you could use a direct extract activity and then you could feed that into FTP. So this is one of the best practice. And these are all the reports where you can see SMS message detail report. And if you want, you could use this configuration and then you can just design because you just have your own one-shot code and design last 30 days, including all the business units if you want, and then you can just submit it. It automatically runs a report and then it'll give you the results. So there is another reports are available. So if you look at this SMS interactions, mobile connect. So you can just look at the catalog. Let's find out the catalog, especially on SMS. You look at your SMS information. SMS message detail, deactivation, account summary, message summary. All these 4 reports you could leverage it, and then you can create, and then you can leverage. You can just view it for your analytics purpose. Yeah, that's all from my end, team. Let me know if anyone has any questions. I'll happy to answer those. And some of the resources that what I would.
Thank you, team. That's it for today. And before closing the session, if you have any questions, please paste the questions or ask the questions. Like I will get back to your questions in the next session. Okay. Okay, then I'm closing the session. Thank you for joining once again. We'll get back to you with one more wonderful session. Thank you.